Before we come to the reminders for the session, I want to just narrate a little incident. I was meeting today someone who has been becoming a mother about 3-4 years ago. I didn't meet her for a long time, and then we came into conversation. And in the conversation it came out how she feels, how she has come to be in connection with feelings which she never had before, especially connecting to the child. And in one point she was saying that there is a feeling that whatever this child, he is about 4 years old now, is doing, still she can forgive everything, she can accept everything, she can take it in a different way than in all other connections. And this is somehow baffling to her, because on one side it is not so logical, but on the other side, because her feeling and understanding of the child is so much that she cannot go into the usual kind of reaction. This is something very beautiful to consider and understand, because this is what love enables. This is what, when you accept and try to understand the other rather than judge the other in the usual way, enables. And this is very valuable when you can get these glimpses and see what is really going on when you are not going into the usual judgments, usual comparisons, usual way of labeling, wanting to revenge, wanting to punish, wanting to hurt, and going into anger, going into hatred. What is happening when you are accepting and trying to understand the other, trying to consciously and deliberately respond, looking what is a creative solution, what is an intelligent answer. And this I would like to bring in our reminders, because these two reminders which we are going to have for this period, they are very deep, very basic, and they touch the very core of the whole inner journey. Because once you can allow these two basic reminders to come into your way of connecting to life, and you experiment with it and discover what is possible, it will transform you. It will allow you the chance to really live a life of fullness, really live a life of love, really live a life which is intelligent and creative. And that is where you see that you are free when you are not going into negativity. Entanglement is connected with negativity because entanglement is connected with the ego. And when you are not trapped in the ego, when you are not trapped in the idea of being separate from the whole, but are more rooted in the consciousness, you realize that there is a different experience of reality, a different understanding of everyone. So, the two reminders, the first one is, as you can imagine, consciously connect every day at least in one connection. It is very challenging, it is very unusual, but really connect to one connection, to one context, to one person without going into the usual judgment, without going into the automatic reactions, and deliberately looking through the heart, looking through a quality of compassion and love. And be present to see what is happening. What is happening in you? What is changing in the understanding of the other? What is the development which is taking place? And it is the practice of it which will make the difference. It is not that you go into it in a kind of theoretical, philosophical and word level, but when you practice it, then you realize what it means to really allow the heart in a conscious way and to live from this quality. Because when you really understand it, then you will see that actually that is the basis with which you should connect to everybody in life, because that is how you can understand anybody. That's how you can understand yourself. That's how you can go with the utmost potential in you of creativity and intelligence and love. So, experiment with this. The second reminder is very deep. It is what I would call a step of conscious transcendence. Why is it so delicate and deep? Because normally when you are connecting to anyone, you are saying, I like it, I don't like it, I want it, I don't want it, I find it good, I don't find it good. It's all from the standpoint of a I. And most often there is not the awareness that this standpoint which you are taking is keeping you caught in the game of duality. In this reminder, you take one step deeper. You observe the I who is behind the judgments. You are not trying to change anything, but you observe the I, the judgment, the reactions, all the feelings, all the thoughts, all the undercurrent things, without trying to hold to an idea of the I, without identifying with any aspect. That means you just move beyond the identification into pure consciousness. It sounds maybe abstract when you only think about it, but in the practice it is very simple. Just notice all the reactions which arise, including the undercurrent idea of the I, the hypnotic concept of the I who is separate from the whole, on which one is normally holding to and is based. Watch this I. Don't identify with it. Don't do anything about it, but just let it come also into the visibility of your consciousness. Notice everything. I often tell you about bringing awareness to the PADS, the Program of Automatic Defense System, because that is working in a very subtle way. And this is one of the things which you will confront and go beyond when you are working with this reminder. Watch the I. Don't identify with it. Don't go into this I like and I don't like kind of approach. Deliberately move beyond it. And watch all this because it is all in the usual way connected to the game level. There's the I and the other, so the duality. But when you are just watching the I, you are going beyond the game level. You are going beyond the ego. What you find in the earlier reminder when you work with the quality of love, you find that this is happening in a different way, in a deeper way, conscious way. With this, you transcend. So you can see, when you must have heard many times that love and meditation are like two paths. They lead you to the same state of understanding and consciousness. In these two reminders, you are having both these seeds, both these aspects coming in. And when you work with it, so in the first one, at least with one person a day connect like that. The second reminder, bring in the rest of the connections as much as possible. And if you are having many connections a day, at least in 3 connections, bring deliberately this quality. You may be immediately seeing that the calculative mind can come and say, oh, when there is a connection where there's not so much problem, I can do that. Okay, choose one like that. But then choose also the one where you have the most problem, where you have the most trouble. Because the trouble is connected with your identification, your judgment, your hypnotic belief that you are separate from the whole. And when you are not going into all those things, when you are not trying to stay with an I, you find that there's a different perception of the same situation, a different insight into the reality of it. So these 2 reminders work with the next 7 weeks. I hope that you are hearing it exactly. The next 7 weeks, try to intensely be with these both reminders. It will be so valuable, and you will find that this is the core of the inner work which you are coming to. And once this has become clear to you, many other barriers and many other unclarities will clear just like a byproduct.